The voice of student athletics, the Open Mic Broadcast Network.
The Open Mic Broadcast Network would like to take this time to recognize its sponsors and underwriters: Attorney Lee Van Richardson, Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union, Prairie View Athletic Club, Temple of Refuge Ministries, Helping Hands Lawn Service, the Hotline Press newspaper of Hempstead, Texas, Purple Drip Daiquiri and Grill. For more information on how you can become an underwriter or a sponsor here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network, our number to call is 832-213-8824. Serving the community through faith and athletics. The Open Mic Broadcast Network, Prairie View, Texas.
It's the radio guy, Mike Princ. Welcome to another episode of the Mike Princ Show. Of course, it is our endeavor to try to bring you some news you could use. Today would be no exception to the rule. Follow me on Twitter at the Mike Princ Show. The YouTube channel is the Open Mic Broadcast Network. And of course, our website is obnradio.com. And without any further delay, we're going to jump right into today's episode. The Panthers, with impressive wins on the road last night against the Mississippi Valley State Delta Devils. Lady Panthers down by 12 at the half and outscored the Devilettes 20-2 in the third period to get the overall victory. And meanwhile, the Panthers on the men's side of things took care of business. So both teams continue to improve as we get closer and closer toward the final stretch of the basketball season. Very, very impressive wins for the Panthers as they wrap up that road trip in Itta Bena and University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. And speaking of basketball news, of course, we talked about Mr. Juwan Howard on yesterday, and he got his, fate on yesterday afternoon. He was suspended 5 games. And I'm okay with that suspension of 5 games. I did not think he should have lost his job due to circumstances, but some will agree to disagree. But it is what it is as far as that is concerned. So meanwhile, Howard will sit out 5 games as the Wolverines will continue to try and make their way. And speaking of making their way, baseball season is up and at 'em. Panthers took care of business in New Orleans. We still trying to find out what happened with the Jackson State competition, but we will, as we say, get that out as soon as we can. Sometimes the information doesn't flow the way we would like it to flow, but we'll do the best we can while we can to work those things out. And speaking of working things out, as we get closer with the opening of baseball season, we're right around the corner from spring football, and how the Panthers look when it comes to the football season for 2022. What are your expectations for the Panthers? Do you believe they have enough in the stables where they should be competitive? Do you think that Bubba McDowell and company will be able to continue to ride on the successful season from last season to the 2022 season? Now, depend on who you ask. The Panthers kind of faltered real bad toward the end, losing 4 in a row, including the championship game against Jackson State. And I think the thing that stings more than anything was that the Panthers went 0 for Mississippi. And they're definitely going to have to change that. And a little side note, when I gave the schedule, I informed you by saying Alabama A&M when that game really should have been Mississippi Valley. So they'll get a chance to atone their loss to Mississippi Valley at home on that last regular game of the season to see if they can work things out as far as Mississippi Valley is concerned. But the Panthers, we had just at a quick look at their schedule, had them going at 6-5. Some agreed to disagree with that, but we'll see what the end's going to be. Some said possibly 7-4, and that was them counting the Mississippi Valley game. Now, Mississippi Valley is one of those teams that have improved greatly under Dancy and his leadership. That's not one of those games you can kind of check off as a done deal already. We'll see how the Panthers measure up. Right now, as I say, at a quick glance, we're at 6-5. But once we get the spring game in and get a chance to give an analysis of the depth chart and the roster, we'll probably be able to see if there's any change, either plus or negative, in regards to the Panthers going 6-5. Bubba McDowell has hired a lot of the guys who were with him under the Dooley era, and we'll see how all these things work out. Meanwhile, other schedules that were of question that has somewhat been rectified was that of Jackson State. Jackson State initially backed out of the Tennessee State Classic game that they had, but they have since added that game in addition to the Lane game. So I don't know if Jackson will be able to play 12 games. Is this the year of playing 12? I always get that confused because they do a rotation where you could play 12 games in one of the seasons and it'll be an additional game of revenue for the FCS programs. We'll see how all of that works out in the long run. And I have a question, and I'll be first to admit, this is more talking about the NBA right now. I'm not a big fan of NBA basketball. It's just a totally different world as far as I'm concerned. I do appreciate college basketball, especially at the March Madness time. But in my data and research, as I say, I don't claim to be a basketball expert. But from looking from outside in and just a glance at the surface, Zion Williamson has got to be considered a bust at this point. He really has not been the same since he busted out of his shoes while he was playing at Duke. And to me, he's damaged goods. I don't know. I don't profess to be the basketball expert. I would leave that to those who are much more knowledgeable. And in fact, I think I'll have to ask Coach Van Pettaway when we get together on our session. But that's my question of the day. Is he considered a bust? He being Zion Williamson. I would love to hear your feedback on that to further discuss this, or if we just need to leave it alone altogether if Zion was a bust or not. I don't know. Let me know what you think. The 24-hour message line is 713-570-6736, or you can always leave your comments in the section below on the YouTube channel at Open Mic Broadcast Network. I am going to exit stage left for right now. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Princ. Thank you guys so much for joining in with us. Don't forget, you can follow me on Twitter at The Mike Princ Show. Subscribe to the YouTube channel at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. And we also need to let you know that you can call in at the 24-hour dial-in message line, 713-570-6736. And also in my haste, the USFL draft starts today. We'll talk about that and much, much more on tomorrow's episode. But for right now, I'm going to exit stage left. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Princ, and until the next time, you guys be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.